The concept of Project Bluebeam has been a subject of intrigue for decades, first gaining attention in the 1990s when an investigator outlined what he believed to be a large-scale plan by those in control to create a staged deception. According to his research, the purpose of this deception would be to unite humanity under a single global government by presenting a false crisis or orchestrated event. Over the years, the idea has been revisited and expanded upon by researchers and whistleblowers, and today it is being discussed once again by figures such as Dr. Steven Greer and former FBI Special Agent John D'Souza. Both Greer and D'Souza have warned that Project Bluebeam may be entering its early phases. They suggest that advanced technologies could be used to create realistic aerial phenomena, holographic displays, or other manipulations designed to confuse or guide public perception. In their view, the goal would be to manufacture unity and compliance by convincing humanity of a reality that is not genuine.
Holographic projection capabilities, directed energy technologies, I'll get into that in a moment, induced auditory input. These are the neurophones I mentioned that Werner von Braun said the most dangerous thing is the neurophone non-local things that can be done to make people think they're having an experience when they're not. Input, experimental aircraft, well, that's just a euphemism for man-made UFOs, and special effects costuming and stagecraft.
What I'm here to tell people is that when Project Bluebeam is used, again, it's not going to be by the United States. It's not going to be by national, it's going to be by global government. They're the ones who are going to use this stuff. And it's going to be not just a bunch of pretty holograms. They're going to be using it for religious figures. They're going to have Jesus in the sky, but it's not just going to be holograms. There's going to be voice-to-skull technology. It's also going to be used. They're going to be able to have these figures speak to every human being on the planet. Imagine the impact of that they're going to be able to see the figure and also hear the figure talking to them. You know, it's amazing. I think that is the particular reason why Jesus said in the Bible, my sheep hear my voice and they will recognize my voice. And I think that was an anticipation of when this operation goes forward.
The concept known as Project Bluebeam has for years existed as one of the most unsettling and thought-provoking ideas to emerge in discussions of advanced technology and global control. At its core, the project is described as a multi-phase plan designed to reshape human society by breaking down long-standing beliefs, reorienting the world toward a unified vision, and establishing a single world order. The framework for this event is not speculation alone, but one that researchers have long discussed as a coordinated effort to fundamentally change how humanity views history, religion, and the cosmos itself. The first step of the plan is said to involve the rewriting of human history. This would be achieved through staged discoveries and orchestrated archaeological revelations that challenge the very foundations of faith. Artifacts could be uncovered, documents revealed, or ancient structures reinterpreted in such a way that the origins of religion are called into question. The intention behind this would be to destabilize belief systems by suggesting that what people have followed for centuries is not as it appeared. By shaking the confidence of entire populations in their inherited traditions, a pathway is created for them to be more open to new interpretations and new authorities. The second phase would be unlike anything the world has ever seen. It would involve the skies lighting up with massive holograms that stretch across entire nations. These displays would not be limited to a single image or figure, but would be tailored to the culture of each region. In the West, people might see Jesus projected in brilliant light across the clouds. In the East, perhaps the figure of Buddha would appear. In the Middle East, it could be Allah. The aim would be to ensure that each culture sees their revered figure at the same time, making the event global in scope, yet deeply personal in impact. This use of advanced holographic technology would be so overwhelming and convincing that millions, even billions, would interpret it as the arrival of their God. The psychological element of the plan would then begin. Voices would be projected directly into the minds of people through advanced methods referred to as voice-to-skull technology. Individuals would hear what they believed to be the voice of their deity speaking to them by name, offering guidance, reassurance, and ultimately, commands. The impact of such an event would be indescribable. Billions of people simultaneously hearing divine voices tailored to their faith would create a wave of belief unlike anything seen before. The power of such an experience would bypass rational thought, striking directly at the most intimate and sacred levels of human identity. The purpose of these phases would be to guide humanity toward the acceptance of a single figure, one who would present themselves as the savior of all. This figure would unite religions, dissolve the divisions between cultures, and offer the promise of peace under a new world order. By convincing people that their God had come and that this new leader was the manifestation of that divinity, the project would achieve its goal: the consolidation of global power under a single authority, one that transcends traditional governments and borders. Some versions of this event go even further, suggesting that the final revelation may not be religious at all, but extraterrestrial. In this scenario, instead of a savior figure tied to specific cultural faiths, the projection would take the form of an advanced being, or spacecraft. This entity would announce itself as a representative of a higher civilization, explaining to humanity that we are not alone in the universe and that we have been watched and guided for centuries. The disclosure of this truth, combined with the visual spectacle in the skies, would lead billions to abandon their former religious beliefs in favor of a new universal doctrine. The extraterrestrial beings would then be perceived as the true architects of human faith, with their presence uniting the world under a single shared belief. Such a revelation would change the course of human history forever. Wars fought over religion would lose their meaning. National divisions based on ideology would fade. Humanity would find itself bound together by the belief that a single truth had finally been revealed, a truth that was not fragmented into multiple traditions but unified in a cosmic origin. The psychological impact would be profound, as individuals would feel both small in the face of the vast universe and significant as part of a greater plan that had been hidden until now. The strength of this strategy lies in its layering. The rewriting of history weakens the foundation of faith. The holograms in the skies captivate the senses and overwhelm rational thought. The voices projected into the mind make the experience personal and intimate, removing any doubt. Finally, the arrival of a savior or extraterrestrial presence seals the transformation by offering a new belief system to replace the old. Each phase builds upon the last, guiding humanity toward acceptance step by step. Those who study the idea of Project Bluebeam warned that its execution would be so advanced and overwhelming that resistance would be nearly impossible. The technology required, from holographic projection to psychological manipulation, already exists in rudimentary forms and has been demonstrated in various capacities. When combined on a global scale with the coordination of powerful institutions, the result would be a spectacle so convincing that billions would accept it without question. The implications of such an event are staggering. Humanity would find itself under the guidance of a new order, one that claims divine or extraterrestrial authority. The freedom to believe differently would be lost, as all faiths and nations would be absorbed into the narrative of the new revelation. For some, this vision of unity is appealing, as it promises peace, an end to conflict, and a sense of belonging to a greater whole. For others, it is a warning of manipulation, a plan to use the deepest human emotions to control and reshape society. What remains clear is that the blueprint of Project Bluebeam, with its carefully staged phases, represents one of the most ambitious and unsettling plans ever discussed. Whether viewed as prophecy, strategy, or warning, it challenges humanity to consider how fragile perception truly is and how easily reality could be reshaped through the combination of advanced technology and psychological influence. The thought of skies filled with holographic deities, voices whispering directly into the minds of billions, and the sudden appearance of an extraterrestrial savior is more than just speculation. For those who believe in the reality of Project Bluebeam, it is a roadmap to the future, one that has already been set in motion. The promise of unity under one God or one extraterrestrial being may appear noble on the surface, but at its core lies a reordering of human existence, orchestrated not by divine intervention, but by human hands wielding unimaginable power. In December 2018, A remarkable event unfolded in the skies above one of the most secure and well-known locations on Earth, the Pentagon. According to numerous eyewitness accounts, a large pyramid-shaped object was seen hovering above the Pentagon during the night, seemingly defying gravity and the usual understanding of aerial technology. This mysterious object was reportedly caught on camera from various angles by multiple witnesses, and the footage soon found its way to social media platforms, where it quickly went viral. The event was discussed widely, with many speculating about the origin and purpose of the UFO. However, in the years since the sighting, especially by 2024, much of the footage and photographic evidence has become increasingly difficult to find, leading some to suggest that the majority of this evidence has been quietly deleted from the internet, raising suspicions about a potential cover-up. The pyramid-shaped UFO spotted above the Pentagon in 2018 immediately stood out due to both its unusual shape and its location. The object was described as being massive in size, stationary, and hovering directly above the Pentagon, a symbol of US military power. Multiple reports stated that the object was either emitting a faint glow or reflecting light from the surrounding city. The event took place at night, making the illumination of the object even more conspicuous against the dark sky. What made this particular UFO sighting stand out even more was the number of angles from which the object was reportedly filmed. Various witnesses across different parts of Washington, D.C. and Northern Virginia captured images and videos of the object from their phones, providing multiple perspectives of the event. These videos circulated widely on social media platforms like Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. The pyramid shape of the UFO led to a flurry of speculation online, with theories ranging from experimental military technology to extraterrestrial visitors. For a brief time, the Pentagon UFO became a viral sensation, attracting the attention of not only UFO enthusiasts, but also mainstream media. Some news outlets covered the sighting, though coverage was generally cautious, focusing more on the strange nature of the event, rather than offering any definitive explanation. Initial attempts by skeptics to debunk the footage were met with difficulty, as the object did not conform to conventional explanations like weather balloons, drones, or aircraft. Despite the initial excitement surrounding the pyramid-shaped UFO sighting, by 2024, finding the original videos and images has become an increasingly difficult task.